have a composition that could bait them into doing something, but putting Clockwork on the wing like that, and then not. I mean, play the clip out a little bit. What do? They just die.
Just die.
Yeah, they're. I mean, so look at their positioning. They tend not to want to go back into the room because I feel like if it's a bait, you've practiced this. This seems like a set strategy. If it's bait, you just back up into the room. You just retreat into the room and take a close range fight with like flashbang and maybe Tracer triple blinks over or something. But it doesn't seem like that happens. So I don't. It doesn't feel like bait to me.
Yeah. I mean,
it just feels like this is the strategy, and oh shit, like we got picked.
Yeah.
Like we've been had, boys.
So this definitely. So we can say that just to stay topical, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's
this.
Clockwork.
This is not on Clockwork. Yeah. Now, what he does though is look at Bishu.
Okay.
So he's the last one alive, and demax him, and gets out.
But I mean, is that even a big deal?
I mean, a demac diva is pretty big, right?
It's a death basically.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, well, I guess maybe not in this position because Bishu can actually.
They're feeding him hard. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so even if they don't feed him hard, like, how long do you think it would take for him to just reset and come back?
Too long.
Is that too long?
Too long, yeah, definitely. The distance is just too.
Yeah. If you hit it immediately, yeah, pretty sure. I mean, Hanamura spawn to A is one of the longest distances in the game.
It takes like 25 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And you need to get to the cliff, jump off, 15 seconds, then 25 seconds to walk.
Yeah.
That's way too long, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he does. They can fight, like, he's still not in mech. Now he's meching. So this should be by all means like an advantage.
Yeah.
I think. So okay, so now they retreat a little bit. Where's Clockwork in all of this? I think he's sort of here. It's fine enough, right? Like I think more aggressive traces would probably harass high ground.
He tried that before, it looked like, because Bishu got damage at some point. When he was mini diva. I think he tried that.
Yeah, I thought that was a right click though. It looked very bursty, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe he went for the killer, but not getting it against 4 is fair enough, right? You don't want to jeopardize your. I mean, this doesn't happen every single time to Sebiobi that he gets that. Right?
Yeah.
So no biggie. They counter dive.
This time it worked what they initially tried to do, because this time they positioned in a way that the backline wasn't reachable.
Yeah.
And they still had movement abilities, so.
Yeah. Okay, here. So they dive. I think he reacts a little bit too slowly for my taste.
Clockwork?
Yeah. This feels. I mean, okay. Not too much, but. At least he reacts, right? Like, that's fine. You don't also want to overcommit with triple blink, because then you're just fodder for whatever, like, either Asher or Shofo, right? You can only then recall, and then you're recalled in the enemy, potentially, without any blinks, so...
Do you think that Clockwork should have stayed aggressively, like, below the... Before Fisher jumped in, or while Fisher jumped in, not
on the backline?
Not get to your backline, but stay at their backline basically and pressure them.
That's a good
or do
question.
You think he should have retreated as well?
That's a good question. I mean, what could he have done? They are still high ground, so he would have to walk up.
Still high ground, obviously, so you can't really get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can assume that someone will jump off in the next few seconds, because both of their tanks are going, like they are breaking line of sight in a moment. They're going behind the house or whatever that is. So you could assume that someone jumps off there. So I don't know if you want to wait there and try to burst them down or play it safe.
Yeah.
I guess the only one that actually does jump down is Shurfa, and he can't see him. So
yeah.
I guess that's fair.
I think I like that. You just want those two tank picks who both use their movement ability, and then you're Gucci. Like, I'm pretty sure they win this fight based on that.
Did he just stick a pulse bomb? Was this the first pulse bomb?
That's one of the stats that I pulled up that's actually kind of interesting. His ult effectiveness is actually 114% on stage 2, above the average.
Really?
The average fight win.
What?
So his ult effectiveness in stage 2 so far is 10.7, where the average is 5.
Yeah, the thing you will see in this game is that he only Bishu busts. That's his job. He's being told to Bishu bust. And that's one thing where you could say, okay, maybe that's a little bit... like, maybe they need to play like that because your tracer is like that. I don't know, like, this is sort of circular. I know, I don't like reasoning that. Now, we have to keep in mind, right, like, little history lesson, like, he didn't ever play differently. Like, he'd never affect solo carried at any given point, really. Like, he had, and you have outstanding matches, but that's basically every esports player ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly, he always played this utility stuff for the most part. So, for him to to be required to play this super aggressive style now, I mean, it's
probably be too hard to fucking just throw into a game. You know, you'd probably have to sit there and practice that over and over and over, and you'd have to have the team to play around you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, like, I've seen things in these VODs that suggest to me that he could, maybe. But the problem is, sometimes it's like, maybe it's a macro strategy thing, and it's very hard for him to get to these places. Or it's just disjointed with his team, and it's a problem with communication. Or his pathing or decisions making is just bad. Like, that's basically what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. So, I mean, okay, this fight should be pretty much won. You can argue that you probably shouldn't pulse bomb that, but whatever. Just make it safe. Just win that one. Pulse bomb is not that big, right?
Yeah. It's all right in this situation.
Yeah.
Just to secure the mech, because you don't want to overcommit into line of sight, I think. And also it just gives you this, like, basically the second kill of the fight, which should be a fight win.
This also feels like a like a coaching call. Maybe, I don't know. Like, okay, here, Linksa should definitely not try to duel this hard and die there.
Yeah.
And this requires the tank line to win it by themselves. Yeah. I personally dislike this style a lot. I think you should be with Muma and with Coolmat at this point. And just go.
I wonder if that's just I wonder if that's like the style that Houston's trying to run. I mean, we know that they're kind of a little bit more passive, but are they actually like catching the dive? I know we talk about like counter the dive, where it's like, okay, we are dove, let's dive them.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they're catching the dive and dealing with flanking and more aggressive positioning first, and then taking the pieces afterwards.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So, they're sneaking around a little. She gets to kill them, but okay. So here's one thing, right? I think this is a little bit of a pathing issue from him, because here Linksa has been fighting for the longest time, and you can't really see too much what's happening. So he's here, right?
Already there,
yeah, Clockwork is here. He's probably also fighting someone. Let's see ult percentage if he's dealing damage. He's not dealing damage during all this. Now he starts, right? This seems like a timing or pacing issue, or possibly like exacerbated by bad pathing. Muma is already way deep, and Linksa is too, and he should be dealing, like, possibly he could even save Linksa here if he's on Shaz way earlier, right? He does get him, but this is why what I'm saying, like, sometimes it feels a little disjointed, right? And where that's one of those,
definitely.
Right? That's like one counter one. This is where I think this should be better the more you play, where you have better synergy with your team and know the rhythm of the fight, or how to interpret calls, when to go in. But maybe it's also a pathing issue. I don't know. Like, I mean, and they get the res on Linksa, so this looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Now they get a fad respawn, though. Like, why is Clockwork so far behind, you know? Like, a Sebiobi now is in your teeth, looking for cavities, right? And okay, so he's probably still hacked, right? Otherwise this wouldn't show up. But still, like, maybe walk forward? He's behind his tank line, basically. Now he's in. And this is one of the rare pulse bomb sticks on the support, by the way. I think that's the only one in the entire mod, if I'm not mistaken. And he sticks it, too.
Yeah.
That's, like, the rest of this VOD, if I don't misremember, is only diva busting. Because now it's like, okay, we win if we clean.
Right.
Bishu does come in. Problem a little bit with these VODs is also that it's like, because people don't think Clockwork is good, he doesn't get much camera time, so you don't see his mechanics as much.
Mm-hmm.
See? Boy's happy. Happy boy. Rubbing his hands.
Great, boy's happy.
Okay.
Do you think the style of like a Houston Tracer would work though? Like the more passive defensive Tracer?
Modern eschatology, my friend.
I'm just asking. I wanted to know if what you think about it.
I think Eska is a plague to Overwatch. That's what I think. No, but like I mean, it's proven to work. It's to some extent. If you have sick, I'm not sure if Houston has the backline quality for that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So if you're gonna take a backseat to that, then you have to have someone else to take the front seat.
Yeah, in this meta, I have to say, because
right,
Raucus is flush in the middle for me in terms of Zen quality. He sometimes has pop-offs, but he's definitely no Jonak, no Neko, and no Bedosin, right? But he's better than I expected going into the Overwatch League, I have to say. Boink is also pretty good. I think, honestly, though, that Banny is probably the best performer at the moment. At least on Mercy, right? It was one of the best Mercies I felt.
Yeah,
like in.
Sure. Where's Clockwork?
Where's Clockwork?
It's a good question. Oh, excuse me.
Here's Clockwork.
It just falls out of the sky.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
So he's discorded, and he's going for Shaz. Right? This is already a little bit different than what we would think of the archetypical Clockwork. But, I mean, his tanks are here, right? He's in front of his tank line, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure
They just retweeted, though. It's weird.
What?
I think his tanks just retweeted that he's going in. This feels like communication.
Yeah, this is again a little disjointed, right? But I mean, you can't do it with recall.
Yeah.
He's not getting himself killed, you know. Now the dive comes
right.
onto Linkster, and this is problematic.
But do we see Clockwork show up, or does he dive?
Where is he? Yeah. He Hoofed. Okay. Like, let's look at Clockwork's damage number, because I have no idea where he is.
I just saw him. He's in this room where Shofar is right now.
Okay.
He will be there in like a few seconds.
I mean, this is an ongoing fight, and he's not dealing damage, right? Still not dealing damage.
Yeah.
Still not dealing damage. No.
Yeah, he's in that room.
Now look at this one. He's being forced into a position, right? You already killed Shaz. And the fight is being brought to him. Okay? Hobbs Bishu. Pretty much ends the fight. Like it's not amazing, but like
I think Gladiators could have won this if they had focused on Clockwork earlier, because Clockwork was overdiving them,
Mhm.
which is, I think, not his fault entirely, because it was at the moment where his tanks just went back, and he went through the bridge into them. I think if Gladiators had punished them by killing Clockwork at that point, they could have won the fight.
Yeah, possible, yeah. Yeah, true. So now he's again on the flank. That's definitely also a macro decision. He should like this is his area here, right? Like the house and whatever. So let's see. You can't see if he can deal damage at the point, but is he dueling Asher or what is he doing? Well, he's receiving damage. He's going back to his position? No? Okay. He's up there, softening up the... Okay, this is, by the way, this is typical Fissure pulse bomb dodging. So... Wait, let's see this again. He does this to so many people. It's silly. Like, he feints the direction, and then he turns around, and you already made the decision. And you just stick his shield and you're done. Like turns on a Bierdeckel.
Okay.
Wait. Let's see it again. Because he knows the pulse bomb is there. It's the first one of the the first one of defense. This is definitely bait, I think. And then I mean, it's definitely not good to not get this. And then it feels like he's trying to over-accomplish, right? And tries to get in, to do something. But Shaz does it to him a couple of times. Can you really avoid this? You probably shouldn't go in, right?
Yeah,
where's Coolmat at this point? Oh,
Right
he's down
there.
there.
Down, yeah.
So Coolmat is about, or he was demagged, or he's about to being demagged. So like, you have two choices really. Either go to Coolmat and kill, or like protect him, try to create pressure there, or flank around, I guess.
The thing is, can you not hear this loading up, or is it too loud on stage?
No, I think you can't hear it at all. Is there any sound?
Yeah, there's.
There is. I just don't know if you'd be able to hear it or not.
Yeah,
it's possible.
During comps and whatever, right?
Now, didn't so LA takes a pick. I guess it's still winnable. No, Boink's dead. Okay, so Boink's dead. Coolmat's getting pressured.
Yeah, Clockwork dies. No.
Yeah, I guess that's the fight pretty much. Unless you invest a ton into it.
Should you go for the backline here as Tracer? Is that the right
I think
decision?
that's alright.
I guess it's one of like a few choices.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm more partial to. I don't know if this is even hindsight based, but I'm more partial to just playing a little bit more passively and waiting and just burning time.
I think he just dies here with like, this is just bad timing.
Yeah.
But,
it might mean this happens just to people, right? That's like
yeah, shit happens. It's unlucky.
the thing is, should you do that? I guess. Probably yes, because like the problem with protecting Coolmat there is that you can't really, because everyone is on the high ground. So like you need to.
Yeah, you would
really have.
anyways.
You're not really close range enough, so you probably should try to get high ground as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reasonable way to go on high ground is through that door.
Through that way, anyways. But aren't you investing like more resources than what it's worth? Because it's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to get to like the high ground, anyways.
I think the
Like
argument.
you're investing point in recall.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you just wait. near the point, just because you know that they have to dive
Yeah, they have to
anyways.
come to you,
Yeah.
so you just spend time baiting them on the point.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
thing that where he should have reconsidered going there is when Linkster gets the pick on Showful, because then he doesn't need to make a hero play. So
Yeah,
okay, but it happens at the very same time, right?
that's true. Yeah.
Like, okay, so in his mind, they're one down, and there's a Widow up top, just now turreting onto low ground while tanks are battling it out, right? And in his mind is probably like, okay, we need to do something about the backline, just keep Widow from free firing. I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like it's fair to like assume that. I think that's probably what he was thinking at the time. But are you really going to be able to fight into a choke point like that? Like, do you really want that as
Yeah.
tracing?
The question also is if you don't just go here, like this path,
Yeah.
right? Like just here's cool mat 2, and then you pressure from here.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, it's probably the better path. It's hard to say. Like this is a tough decision.
Yeah, if you can get in and get the work done, then I think that's that you're bringing the fight back into your favor and giving you priority. But I still think you have a slight edge when they still have to be proactive and invest some abilities, not necessarily alternates, but some abilities into retaking the low ground and fighting you off of it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they can sit up there and like just pop shots at you all day, but if they're not contesting the point, then they're wasting their own time. So like, yeah, they're taking good positioning, but I don't necessarily think that you have to counter pressure them because they're the ones that have to they're being pressured to actually do something on the point, if that makes sense. I think.
Yeah, true. Okay. So let's see how this continues. We know he dies here. They will probably lose the fight because of not only this but also Boink being dead.
I mean, rock assault. Is that even enough to swing that back in your favor?
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, you don't like. If you're in a game with Fissure and you hear a monkey scream, the last thing where you want to be, it's like, oh shit, this is a T-Rex. He is roaring. Let's go to his place. He's probably not there. Like. Yeah.
Because now they're down trans.
Okay. Rock's
Do
pretty
you
alone.
like Zenyatta being completely alone there?
No. But he's also evading it quite well.
I guess Boink backs him up.
Yeah, I guess if Boink has Valk, I think it's fine because he can get back
By the way,
pretty quick.
look at what happens to Bishu here. Okay, so they've go for chauffeur first, and this is all clockwork.
Wow. Okay.
Look at his damage.
Yeah.
Where are they though?
Yeah, sort of main, I think. So he goes from 80%. He will blink over in a second. And now he busts. Now see, this is all clockwork damage.
No, at the end it looked like a helix rocket or something.
Oh, it's pulse bomb.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
The thing is, the reason we don't see a kill is that he uses bump, right?
Yeah. It seems strange that on attack he's more passive, but on defense he's more proactive and he wants to actually go and duel.
Mm-hmm.
But on attack
again.
it's like a weird. Yeah, he gets shazzed again.
Well, the thing is, we don't know what the context is. It's just a matter of fact is he gets shazzed again. And a lot of people get Shast. Let's not.
Yeah.
Right, but
You're gonna get Zenyatta sometimes.
yeah.
I hear he's a good hero.
Why is Muma ulting there? Was he low or was he trying to protect Coolmat?
Good question. Oh my. It's unfortunate that Rockus dies there. Clockwork D-Max Bishu again. So this is my point, right? They tell him, please Diva Bust.
Yeah.
That's all he does pretty much the entire series.
Let's go, Fisher.
Yeah, unfortunate. So, okay, second attack. Again, defense. Starting out again with Widow. I think it's fine to just play into your strength as Houston with Widow.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't even know why they would put Shofar on it, to be honest. Like, at this point, I like, if even Fledder can't hold up, who do you even put against him?
That's a question that somebody asked on Twitter. I think it was your Overwatch or one of the guys at your Overwatch. He's like, well, why not? It seems like Mercy Widow is like undivable, so why would you bother? It's like, well, what happens when you're playing against the best counter sniper in the game? Do you want to fight him on his ground, or do you want to try diving it?
By the way, Barroi, like Jin41 says in chat that Muma had to ult when you asked, if he had to ult or to protect Coolmat or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Ult to live? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Then the question is if Muma tried to dive with Clockwork, or if Clockwork was completely on his own before he got chased.
Yeah.
I guess we can't know without a minimap.
Yeah, that was actually not on. Okay. Some chunkin. He's in his living room again. So you can't see what's really happening. But he's dealing damage here, right? Let's see.
Yeah, they are playing the same position again.
Mm-hmm. He's just there to hold that position and just...
Yeah.
And he's dealing a lot of damage. He starts at 36 this fight. And he gets an ult this fight, basically. Or now, the next fight. Okay, so he starts at...
soon. Very soon.
50% or 52 or something.
And you know why he's over there, right?
Just so they can't go to...
No, watch. Well, yes, but the reason why he's over there is because Linkser wants to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's covering that option. So they can't send a tracer up and around to deal with him now because Clockwork's sending there.
Yeah.
Well, he was. At least he was controlling that.
Yeah. And he's damaging. Bishu is once again demacked, right? Clockwork. Yeah.
Bit of a whiff.
Well, that's what he's known for.
So that's fine.
You got to work at everything. He gets another ult.
Just put him against Muma on no cooldowns and just have him throw bombs at him.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a bad drill to run.
Hey, Chemotherapy. Yeah, that's a good question. Carpe against Linkser in Widow battles.
I don't even know at this point.
If you go to Winston's Lab's Twitter, you will see that Linkser is the best and Barroi, like by far the best, actually, right?
Did I post it?
Widow.
Yeah, the counter Widow tweet when you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
By how much margin is he like off of second place?
Like insane. It's insane. I don't like the second place is fine and it's a lot, but I think the third place he gets like twice as many kills as the third place almost. Something like that. On Widow, as Widow.
Here, I'll try and find it while you play the
There's a
blood.
kiwi like attached to the tree.
Oh, okay, I'll find it.
So clockwork's here, holding that.
Yeah, don't play against Lynx. So.
I mean, and this is mismanagement of. I feel like this is a little bit iffy on the. Okay. Okay. Let's forget everything about this fight, like, because you know what happens here?
No.
That's the fight where Raucus walks back off the cliff,
no.
and it's just over. See that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
They had like a clip there. Yeah, I mean, at this point, fight's over.
Where's
Clockwork is dueling.
Oh, he's there. Okay.
Sort of depleted on his blinks, and now Show4 dives, and for him to get up there, like, he doesn't have blinks at this point. But he also gets very confused about what's happening. Let's not be like, again, this is probably if you have.
Was it the 1v1?
Better communication against Asher, yeah. But again, like, this fight is just.
I mean, yeah, the fight is done, obviously.
Yeah, whatever.
What I like though is that.
Look at this. He has ult. He has ult.
Can you actually go back to where Lynx is fighting Asher?
Clockwork?
Clockwork, yeah, sure.
Let's see.
So
he's there.
Oh, he's there.
He almost.
Oh,
No, wait, that's the fight.
Just let it run, yeah. Let's just let it run.
Okay, this is the one.
So right now he's not in his house. He's underneath the bridge right now.
Yeah, in the courtyard.
And I kind of like what he does here because he had two options again. He had the option to, because he was right next to the staircase underneath the bridge, right? He had the option to go up the staircase, or just blink back to the point. And I like blinking back to the point because the problem with going up the staircase is that it will take
long.
It will take basically twice as long to get into line of sight for your healers. And at this point, I guess it's only one healer. But if you actually try to survive, just blinking back to the point is better because you get into line of sight for your healers more quickly. I would need to check if he acts like this more often because if he does, that's actually kind of smart, because DPS they often forget that if you want to get healed, you actually have to be in line of sight.
The thing is, okay, so chemotherapy is saying better blink management during the Asher 1v1 probably would have helped. I agree to an extent, but it's a battle of resources, and if someone like Asher is just overcommitting all these blinks into you in order to win that duel, I don't know if you can trade that favorably, and I also don't think that's actually a losing thing. He sort of zones him out for that matter, but I mean, again, this fight, like, it's hard for me to care at this point when you're Zen with ultimate drops off the map, right? Like,
so you want to see how crazy Linkser is?
Sure.
Basically, the top four in terms of Widow versus Widow, it goes Linkser at, and this is total kills. I guess I could do kills per 10 if you want.
Do kills per 10, yeah.
Kills per 10, Linkser gets 3.4 kills per 10 versus another Widow. Against Widow, specifically. The second highest would be Pine with 2.7. Carpe with 2.3. And then, like, Hurag randomly, like, peaks, but he hasn't actually had that much playtime. But yeah, it's considerably.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing how high it is. I think it went up after his last match. And yeah, I saw Hurag peak as well after his match.
Which is strange because, yeah, I think it's got to be
It's just because
Like
you only play
under
like
10
30
minutes. Yeah, okay.
Twinsfan06 says, Reinforced tweeted some article about Widow vs. Widow. The only Widow who has won the Widow engagements with his Linkser is Birdring. And then he says, Linkser vs. Kape was 4-1, and Linkser versus Birdring was 5-8. Okay. I mean, reasonably close, but it's also, like, just numerically comparing them is obviously... you need to contextualize in some sense, but yeah, just as a stat, like, pretty impressive. I mean, we know that Birdring is also pretty good on Widow, right? So
if he plays her, he doesn't play her often.
Throughout Overwatch League, he has a 1.8 kill per 10 against Widows.
Birdring?
Yeah. 1.831.
Like almost twice as high.
Yeah, Linkser has 3.487, which is legitimately twice as high.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Just farms kids.
You don't actually want to duel him. It's probably the best choice, but you don't actually want to do that.
Yeah.
He puts you in a scenario where you actually lose both ways. Because you don't actually want to dive him. I guess you could run tanks, but even then, do you really want to run tanks on like Gibraltar? Really? Do you want to do that? Probably not.
Okay. So they check it out. Houston loves to do that, by the way. Send their diva scouting, and then Kumant almost always gets out safely.
Very smart.
Very smart. It's basically a personified Hanzo arrow, if you want.
Sure.
And old charge.
So he's pressuring Asher out of the room. That's nice. Loops around. Does not overcommit. Is there on the forefront. Where is he now?
What is he doing here? Is he trying to protect his backline or counter dive?
Where is he? Where is Clockwork? There.
He's at the bridge.
He's here.
Oh, yeah. Can you go back and let's try to find him?
I mean, the best way in order to find him is to look at Bishu's life bar.
Find Bishu and then you'll find Clockwork.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I'm telling you, this might just be a structural thing that Houston does. And obviously we don't know if that's just the thing they have to do, or if that was just for this specific game because it's Bishu.
Yeah.
But let's see. So he is here.
Oh,
right?
he's counter diving actually.
So he's there.
So LA is going in and he's trying to go in as well.
Look at Bishu's life bar right here.
No, that's not him though. I don't think that's him.
Oh, Bishu is top here.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going for Shaz? No, for Big
Big
Goose.
Goose.
Big Goose, of course. Big Goose.
Now he's going for Bishu.
Yeah. And
he deals damage,
yeah. Where is he? Oh yeah, he dove after Bishu. Yeah, so they're just Bishu busting basically.
Yeah, it's just going for Bishu.
I don't even think it's for this match in particular. I think this is probably just something that they tend to do when they play Clockwork. Granted, it'd be interesting to see. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah,
seems like a typical thing that you could do with tracers. It's like a stylistic choice. Doesn't seem very outlandish.
By the way, I'm very, very proud of my upload that it manages to upload my screen and Twitch at the same time. Very well done upload.
Kudos to your ISP.
Boom. Clockwork once again in the back line.
Yep.
Oh, he gets Shaz.
Shaz.
Nice. This time he was definitely accompanied by Muma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynx or Muma were ball back there, yeah. Seemed pretty coordinated. The dive was nice, it looked like.
So they can't finish and get 0%.
And that was their second round of defense, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I actually want to see if he's more passive on attack now. Or at least that's something that I'm gonna be trying to pay attention
Let's
to.
see.
Why Muma? Just why? Come on.
That's
Don't
not
even get
terrifying.
camera time. What the fuck
That's
is
really
this?
Satan.
Oh my god.
Okay. So once again, he's in his home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going for Asher. Now they're diving hard.
And clockwork's back here. Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of a defensive play.
So once again, look at Bishu. Look at Bishu's health. Fight's over basically, but
Oh, that.
Bishu bust.
Yeah, yeah. But like, wasn't it too late?
No, because now he's just sitting in mech. It's like the same scenario where I asked.
Yeah.
Oh, they are attacking. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought
So it's
they were
completely
defending,
worth it, I
actually.
guess.
Yeah.
I thought they were defending.
Ooh, he almost
See, now
gets
you have a
flanked.
power play.
Dueling Asher. Yeah, definitely have a power play.
Oi. That's not good.
It's not good.
Again,
but
he's standing behind his tanks for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to go for Fisher. Now he is. Wait, is he behind Shofa?
That's good.
Yeah, he's still behind, like, basically where Clockwork, or, I'm sorry, Coolmat is.
Let's see. He was down there, right?
It looked like he was waiting for them to dive.
Yeah. I mean, they were pretty much always kind
Look
of...
what he's doing there.
Yeah.
He's not.
He just wants to control that side of the
I
map.
think he's just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're almost mirroring their defense in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're still up here. He's putting some ice on the map there. Still there. By the way, pretty good reaction by Boink. Because if he gets in there and can EMP
it's like
while
GG.
Raucus is going up, then he gets him.
Yeah.
And now he can hide behind these terminals here.
Clockwork just used his ult on. He tried to use it on Bishu, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's dealing damage on Bishu again. Yeah, he's just focusing Bishu.
Mm-hmm. Bishu dead. And he helps cleaning up. This is very Grim Reality-esque if you think back to Contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's basically what Grim Reality was used for, basically all of Contenders, where he would just bust divas all day, and that's why his ult kill percentage or ults per kill looked so bad, because he was just diva busting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's there. They're now together.
Yeah, that's an odd aggression.
Mm-hmm.
He's way in front of his tanks now.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. And this once again, right? Like this is happening already. And here he's not really. He's like. It takes a little bit too long for him to get into a fight. Now he's impacting the fight, but everyone's low.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Asher is in there all the time, right? Like if he can figure out these timing issues, I think he'd be a lot better. Feels like he's doing a great job killing Bishu when given the opportunity, but trying to force the opportunity too much. Doesn't realize when to switch onto other targets.
I kind of agree with that.
I'd have been given the directive to focus Bishu, but is trying to force that too much. Not sure what to do in between unless Gladiators puts him in that situation. Yeah, the thing is, like, this is... You you kind of need to know how strict the directive is, right? Like sometimes a coach just tells you, do nothing else. Well, that's not if do nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at the same time, I think he should be at least poking the backline a little bit more, annoying them more.
He's definitely. I just looked at the numbers for this match, and he has the worst time to charge ult of all the Tracers that played by far. He also has the least kills, but at the same time, he has the least deaths as well.
Yeah, he doesn't die. That's true.
So, yeah, I guess he's trying to force it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this just speaks to me as someone that's not confident in his play, and he should play more.
Just follows orders.
Yeah.
Without really.
Then again,
for yourself.
At the same time, you have to keep all the previous information in mind. And now the situation didn't fundamentally change. He's still playing with these people from back then, right? So it's very easy to get forced into a mindset like that. But at the same time, it's also very easy to explain by saying he just can't do anything else. It's all he's good at. That's possible, right? So it's very hard to figure out. But hopefully we get to it a little bit more. When going down these spots. Yeah, they're getting shreked. Okay, this looked comical. Look at how he tries to escape. This is frustrating. Look at this. It was great. Wait for it. No. Blink. Oh no, no, Mr. Blink. No.
Oh fuck.
Blinks again.
He blinks again.
Let's be honest, why is this there? What is this? Like, why is this a thing? Like, it's like this, and then it's like this. Like, why?
This is what you call art. Do you see the artistic?
Yeah, you don't question it.
You don't question it. It's allowed to float in the air as well. Because it's art.
Yeah, pretty much chemotherapy. Like, you would think his damage per 10 would be high because focusing D.Va, but if waiting until the fight devolves is so no one is focusing him, he's waiting too long and the damage per 10 will suffer. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. He needs to... But there's so many ways to explain this, right? There's the explanation of not being in tune with the game. There's bad pathing. There's bad communication or like game sense in a way, right? So I've had this idea to talk about Trace as sort of like a dance, like a rhythm, how the game feels, and if you're on tune, then things happen. And for instance, someone that recently got on tune is Logix. You can almost, like, someone, if you track like how he tracks basically, is like now he found his groove of guns. It's a very specific tune between like shoot, and then switch target, shoot, switch target. And the way it pops up, it's almost like a special frequency of how he plays the game. Like a certain amount of beats per minute, if you want, right? And then he also knows when the beat starts. He never skips that, right? That recently came up again. It looks very much like it did in Contenders and also during Movie Star. But if you're off beat, right, it's like you're not in the fight, your blink management is wrong, you're not dueling the Tracer correctly, you're not weaving in your your melee attacks or whatever, then it's just off beat and it doesn't work anymore. And once you're in tune or in the flow of the game, then you can work as a Tracer. And that's why it's so hard. It's like you need insane mechanics, but you also need insane synergy with your main tanks, and you need insane game sense, right, in order to just feel out what's happening. So it's just Tracer is one of the more or most challenging roles, and that's why you need to main it and you need to play it a lot. Right. Wait, so boom. Okay, let's finish this. Thanks for the invite, guys. What do you mean? Which invite? Did I? Can't follow. Okay, so this sucks. Getting caught there? Yeah.
Okay, Clockwork was diving with Muma again.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Oy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah. That's a nice bomb, though.
That's a fucking great bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky bastard.
Oh. The Masons. What's Clockwork? Woof!
Woo!
Okay.
He stick the bomb!
I will not over my dead heads will Clockwork kill me this game. I will not allow it. Can you just go into the stats and just give him one for that?
Sure.
I think he deserves one for that. I mean, look at this. This is the scale, man. This is...
Oh my god.
What do you think about the Arhan rumors? Link's move to Tracer, if true, might get them more flexibility than people are thinking. So that's... I actually thought about this last night, where it's like... Most of the Tracers play Widow at the moment, right? The meta is as such that it makes sense for a Tracer player to also be the Widow player. And some people have struggled with that. If you think of Logix, if you think of... Birdring is doing it too. He's not really struggling, but he's doing it too. Like, most of the Widows, I would think, do that. With the exception of Fleda.
What up?
Who are Traces that also play Widow? Logix.
Birdring.
Birdring.
He's
Yeah.
been historically.
Yeah. Let's
Carpe.
think. Carpe. Yeah. I mean, if you can...
If you want to count
Sebiobi.
Eska, Sebiobi, sure.
Yeah. So, if you can get Arhan, and then Linkser on Tracer, I mean...
Linkser said he isn't really comfortable on Tracer, though.
Yeah.
But
I feel like...
you don't want an Arhan Clockwork combo. I don't think you want.
No. I don't like the Arhan pickup much, because even Arhan in the perfect position you put him in, I don't even think he's a beast there, as much as other people could be. Like, there's... obviously, I'm not aware of any age-related restrictions, but someone like a Nene, like a Sashin, like a... Give me some good DPS players, Barroi.
Yaki.
Then
Bazzi isn't playing projectile.
you could put Bazzi on hitscan though, couldn't you?
Yes, definitely.
Godsby.
Yeah. Like all of them, because Arhan is one of the old gods, right? I'm not sure if he... Like, it's not even a good long-term investment, I feel like.
Yeah, you like rather wait like a year and pick Haxal up. Not even a year. Like he'll get old enough in October.
Yeah, just save your allowance and go all out on that kit, and
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. But you have to make, like, when does the transfer window close? Was it today?
I don't know. At the end of stage 2, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you can still pick up Axel. It just feels, does Ahan feel like an improvement? I don't think so.
In terms of skill, I would say yes, but I think he's too dominant on a team where he like is going to dictate the pace of the team, and I don't know that it fits well with Anhisa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to build around him.
He can be a good player, but you legitimately have to piece a team around him, and he has to be the focal point. Where this team, I feel like the focal points are Cool Map, Movement, and Linkser.
Yeah. Recry. I think Recry is old enough.
Recry is definitely old enough.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fat, chubby Korean.
Huh. Yeah.
Recry is a very unique player, though. You only want him in like certain team comps and in like certain team styles because he's a very passive player. Don't know if he fits well in this current meta. I have to think about that.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably be very good on maps like Kingsville and stuff, but only it's very specific though.
Okay, so let's look at this fight. Let's get back to Clockwork. So, wait, how does this develop? So he forces Asher off, right? That's what happens. So that's already pretty good. He basically opens the fight up here. That's basically a first kill that he's getting, but not really.
Well,
but this puts you ahead, right? Okay. So,
yeah.
Once again, Bishu bust in.
This is very different from what he did before because he's not really flanking.
Mm-hmm.
When they initiated, he was just going in with the team, just dropping his pulse bomb and going back to the team, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's different from what he did before.
So he did help DMAC Bishu, and he does get Chauffeur in order to keep.
And I think this is like more of the
Rock
fight you want to see him play because he isn't just alone trying to DMAC Bishu.
Mm-hmm.
I think this fight is more like the ideal fight.
Yeah.
In terms of what he could do for you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he dies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Did they get another attack here? I don't even. Oh, I think they clutched it out. Yeah, they clutched it out. I mean, it's only 33%, so.
Yeah.
Bishu again. Rock is on Soldier, nice. Kills Bishu.
Clockwork gets the kill.
Where is he during this? He has a bomb. I feel like he sat on this too long, maybe. Wait, let's see this again. So Raucus comes in. There's Clockwork. Kills Bishu. Does he really need to retreat here? He's fully. Oh, he's going for Fissure. Okay, makes sense.
He's using his ult basically immediately, so.
Yeah. Okay. True. Yeah, definitely. Still part of the cleanup crew.
Yeah, that's just a cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is more like the start at least was more of a fight you want to see him take. It's not just he wasn't completely focused on one player and he wasn't completely alone.
Jin, from my understanding, about Devin is that he didn't have good tryouts at all in Overwatch League. He did try out for a bunch of teams, but didn't show up in tryouts, is what I gathered from what people told me. And that's unfortunate, but I also think that people really overvalued the importance of tryouts. Like, what's a tryout? What's one game of practice? And even, like, if you have a rigorous system, okay, if you bring them back, like, 3-4 days in a row. But if you have one tryout block, let's say for 4 hours or whatever, and you fail during that for whatever reason, yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, people want to try to figure out synergy, but that's the same issue I have with current coaching in Overwatch League. It's like they try out one thing, and if it doesn't work in the very first real game they have, they completely switch it around. And just because they don't have results isn't a reason to keep trying that very same thing, I think. What you want to see is what down the line develops. Now, you obviously don't have that much time because your job's on the line, but I think that's a much better approach than trying to rotate the thing that keeps, like, it's very hard to find something that you employ a strategy and it immediately works and it also has longevity. It feels like if that strategy works for you on the first match, then it's probably cheese and it will probably be figured out fairly quickly. So, yeah, I mean, Devin was nuts in Contenders, and that should probably have given him some credit. Definitely. Also, keep in mind, the tryouts were all on NA servers, I'm pretty sure, or mostly. So,
Oh boy.
Whatever.
There were actually a lot of Overwatch League teams that had EU only tryouts.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. It just seemed weird, doesn't it? Like that Mistakes, who's basically very comparable to Devin, got on an Overwatch League team, and it's Snillo too, and Devin didn't. So, even though he definitely had the most convincing performance of all the players, of these three players, in the most relevant category, which is Contenders Finals, right?
Sure.
So, let's see. Which matchup do we want after this? Okay, so let's close this. Nope. Okay. So, do we want to take a bad game?
Let's go.
Let's go bad game. Wait, is that against Valiant?
He makes a lot of tracers look kind of bad. No, even on.
Okay. These are all, but one of them is. Yeah. Wait, this one is Hanamura. All the other ones are Volskaya.
Okay.
He makes a lot of tracers look kind of bad. No, even on.
So this is. When does this happen? This is fairly early in this stage.
Look at Moma again. What is he doing? Like, I don't see it.
You're obsessed.
He is obsessed. Fuck him.
Okay. Is Joe still here? Oh, he's AFK.
Joe sent me a message that he's getting salad.
Oh,
But
okay.
after that, he came back real quick. Yeah,
Okay.
he is probably grabbing some more salad right now. I don't know.
Okay. At 7 map losses in a row, this is the longest losing streak Outlaws have suffered this season. So this is definitely also a game where they are in trouble, right? So
Yeah. I mean, 7 map losses, that doesn't really tell you much. If they played New York and London before, I forgive them.
Okay. So this was a game before the one we watched.
Okay.
So let's see how their strategy changed.
They're actually doing something No, not completely different, but
Just sort of different, right? Is Clockwork still in the right corner? Where's Clockwork?
I don't know.
Hello? I think he was there. I think I saw him. There. Got him. Got him, boys. Got him. Okay. It's like this. Right, it's like so. And then like a little cape. And then do we have white? We don't have white. We take yellow. This is basically Where's Clockwork. This is actually Clockwork to Mayhem. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Confirmed.
Secret. Leaks. just bench fucking logic.
Can
Definitely.
you fucking imagine?
He came back the best time. Came back for the blasphemy. That's what attracts Joe. The blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
I also please refrain from only calling him Logix. It's Lord Logix.
I'm sorry. Lord Logix being replaced by the Godwork. Feels right.
Okay. What's happening? Clockwork's here. It's in the front line with his tanks. Peaks a little. It's possibly over peaking. Maybe not. Keeps poking. Also, wait, no. Did I see that wrong?
Hmm.
He's shooting Envy, right? Yeah, the Diva busting again. So, trying to do that. So, huh. Do we want to? Okay, so let's categorize, right? So you have three groups of traces. Okay, you with me?
Mm-hmm.
3 groups of traces. In the run group, you have the guys that can use pulse bomb well. Okay. In the other group, you have people that have very good aim. Okay. And then in the last group, you have people that outsmart their opponents. Okay? And then okay, so let's think of, okay, so who's a good ult user in terms of the Overwatch League? Who has very good ult usage?
Prophet? Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to actually recall anybody who's like just excellent at sticking. I guess Prophet.
Sebiobi, is he good at that? Oh, it's hard to think of someone.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So, like I think Sinatra.
Okay.
Okay. So let's think of someone that aims well. That's definitely Sebiobi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sebiobi. And who else?
Logix, maybe.
Logix. Definitely Logix. Where are the good traces, actually? Let's say, think.
Carpe.
Carpe is... Yeah, Carpe is definitely one of the... Like, Carpe probably also has pretty good...
Yeah, he bleeds over into pulse bombs, yeah.
Yeah. So when someone that outsmarts their opponent, or is at least in that category, right? Of like playing utility and whatever, and making you look the other way would be someone like an Eska, right?
Clockwork, yeah.
And then Clockwork. And then
Who reg when he played Tracer for season 4? A little bit.
Okay.
I think they were more dive centric, but I think that was his role, was to just take the try to force Tracer 1v1s.
Oh yeah, Soon is definitely a beast here, right? Like in an aimer. But also Soon has pretty good pulse bombs, and like Soon is pretty good in all three categories, I would say. Right?
Prophet, I would say, is another one that's pretty good at everything. He makes you think twice. He's kind of is good at, has very high in-game IQ, I would say. He has a very good feel for the game, where he should be positioning if they have an advantage and he's already there, where he should be when where they're at a disadvantage, shit like that.
Yeah.
Munchkin is a good pulse bomber.
Yeah.
Or would you put Striker?
Striker. He's probably somewhere here, I would think. Like, so he's more towards that category, right? Should I blow your mind? Okay, so aimers, Joe.
Yeah.
Are taijutsu users.
Oh my god.
Ultimate users are ninjutsu users.
And then Genjutsu.
And they're like, Clockwork is a Genjutsu user.
Jesus Christ. So you're telling me that Asuka from Lunatic High is Itachi Uchiha? Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much. No. Who would he be? He would be Pain. He would be
Pain. That's even better.
Play against Eska, you don't fucking know what you're doing because you're in an alternate universe. You're like trapped. You think you're hitting Lord Logic,
but you're actually hitting yourself.
But you're actually hitting yourself.
That's the problem with Genjutsus, right? Sometimes you get caught in one yourself, and then you just pulse bomb yourself. Like Eska so often did. It works perfectly. It's like someone went back in time to invent that system in order to categorize traces that way. Amazing.
Shame on you for thinking of that.
Can you believe I was planning that exact thing before I started drawing this up?
Oh my god.
Really?
Are you disgusted with me?
Slightly.
Alright. So, let's see. This is... Wait, let me see. So this is against Valiant. And that is actually the worst performance by rating that Clockwork has.
1.5 kills per time?
Yeah, I mean, against Shock it's already terrible, but... Yeah, that's...
I mean, that could be a result of just obscene diva busting in lost fights, because it doesn't count as kills.
Like, how is the Shock performance better than... Probably because he got first kills. But that's probably about it. Jesus. Do we see?
He must have lost tons of fights. He got 2 kills in the Valiant match.
Where's Huey?
So they've won 5 fights, so far.
Okay, so...
How did he only get 2 kills?
It's insane, right? Okay. Let's see. Alright. Wait. How does this actually unfold? So, we recall that Link's posts up here. I don't know why he doesn't stay up there, but okay. He's scared of Kareev.
It must just be the diva busting. It must just be intense focus on the diva.
So far, they've kept Envy alive, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's only trying. It's not like he's succeeding.
Now Clockwork is with Muma, trying to stick it in. nothing happens.
Obviously can't.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't go for Omni Diva.
Yeah, in that situation he doesn't. Keeps going on soon.
Yeah, what?
Boom.
What was that?
Yeah.
What
He
was
knew
that recall?
He knew he was gonna die to the Diva Bomb, so he had to recall. That was his only option.
Oh, that was okay. I didn't see the Diva.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that ended the fight again also, so Rockets jumps off.
No, cool, man. Oh, it actually worked. Okay. Ah. Yeah, that just felt like he didn't know where to aim. Didn't know where to go. I think Envy, he tried to go for Envy at the start, but Envy played in a way that he couldn't go for Envy, and then he didn't know what to do. That's what it felt like. And I don't know if that's his fault or just
Good
like
play out of LA.
Yeah, I think
gets Karif,
what I wanted to say it's just maybe the strategy is again go for Envy, and he can't, and he doesn't have a backup plan, so it's kind of a strategy thing.
I feel like this has to be a kill.
Yeah, that should be.
Yeah.
Those are those situations where it's like it's an aim test, where it's like,
what are you doing now? Like,
okay, sticks it. You stuck it on Fate, right? Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, he did. On Fate, you stole.
Yeah. It's my ball. Look at this. So,
I think he like when he was on the high ground and Karif got away, I think he just waited for too long before going in again. I don't know. Just felt like he was doing nothing for like 5 seconds. And sticking Pulse Bomb on, unfortunately, a bad target at that time. But like the time between sticking the Pulse Bomb and forcing Karif off, he just did nothing, I think.
Yeah. He's pretty much doing not much at the moment. Okay, now he's doing damage. Muma dies a lot here, quite often. So early, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, this fight again at this point is over.
Karif.
And then actually not even getting that many ults out of them. Just.
I'm actually interested in why they're having a hard time busting Envy. Is it because did LA play Mercy on point A and point B?
Yeah.
I think Envy plays really smart. Like he is hiding, like he actually takes cover a lot of the time. And he doesn't do that when he's at like 100 health. He's doing that from the start.
Beginning. Okay.
So he's just taking cover and staying with his backline.
Oof. Why?
Really going to the enemies.
Thing is, like, Clockwork is not impacting the game here.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't know what to do. I think it looks like he doesn't know what to do because he can't find Envy, or he can't fight Envy rather.
I mean, it's fine that he doesn't just suicide into it and dies, but like.
Yeah, but you're also not having any impact whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I think that's that rigid kind of strategy that they've put him on, is like just target divas, let everybody else take care of the rest.
The problem is, so there's there's a hard spectrum, right, of Tracer play. So you have, let's say, Clockwork on one end, and you have Effect on the other. Okay. So, and in this spectrum is like, how free are you, basically? So, Clockwork is, oh my god, I was about to XQC brain this so hard. Clockwork is in prison. Like his strategy.
Okay, I see what you mean. I see.
Clockwork is in prison. He has to do whatever like his team tells him, right? His target selections are interesting. Here, I think his call was also to keep Soon sort of at bay, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we found out that he was diva busting last game. Now he's a little bit on Soon duty, and he's trying to bust Envy, even though it's not that fruitful. On the other end, you have Effect, and he does whatever he wants. Doesn't communicate with anyone, like just clutches it out. Like sometimes he doesn't really coordinate with his tanks, but he's good enough to just make it work, right? He will stick pulse bombs very effectively. He has great aim, but he will not he will not play systematic Tracer, right? So I think where you want to be is sort of in the middle somewhere, as it so often is the case, right? You want to be the guy that has enough freedom to impact the game and to make the solo plays every once in a while, and to have the rigidity of the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think both the people that excel exactly in that sweet spot is Sebiolbi and Prophet.
Prophet, yeah.
These guys have perfected the margins here, right? So they fit into the system. They have their tank lines, and I would say, if I was to put them on the spectrum, it's more like Sebiobi is a little bit more to the effect route, and then Prophet is a little bit more to the Prism, to the Clockwork school of Tracer, because he's more bound to gesture, right? While the collaboration between tanks and this Tracer happens in both teams. It happens more with Prophet and gesture. So, like, if you're within that spectrum, I think you're golden in Overwatch at the moment. Like, if you're pretty well in tune with your tank, and if you have enough freedom in order to make like a sick individual play. So, for instance, one thing that if you watch the series of Dallas against NYXL on Hollywood, that's exactly what happens, right? So Effect goes by himself, and Libero ults, that's on Hollywood, Libero ults, and Effect catches him with a pulse bomb, and by all means, that should decide the fight. He gets a double kill, kills the Blading Genji, and nullifies the ult advantage they had, basically. And Dallas is now 2 up, but at the same time, because he's not in that system, because he doesn't listen to calls as much, because he doesn't stick to his tanks as much. To be fair, his tanks keep switching every week. The problem is that they then lose the fight, because Sebiolbi and I think it's Janus on that map, if I'm not mistaken, might be Mano, I don't know, but he kills the backline completely. Like, he kills both supports. So this is problematic, right? This is where both systems clashed, and Sebiolbi, just because he has better synergy with his tanks, he just clips chips, and after that, his Winston can finish off the Custer on Lusu. So I don't know, like, I think you want to be in this gap, basically. And if you're not playing enough, you can't be in this gap. Is what I'm thinking. But we will see. We will see. Karif, the pretty boy.
He's very handsome.
He is. So is
Not as
Recry
handsome as
and
Toby.
Bubbly. See, Barroi also has this analysis niche. He has Toby's prettiness. Like, you need to level up your game, Joe.
Yeah, my bad. I gotta.
Have you decided on something now?
No, I have no idea.
Jesus.
Jesus. Do you want to call yourself an analyst? Unbiased. wrecked.
Yeah, and be bombed. Whew. There are very few scenarios where the situation is so busted against Tracer that it's fine to die against Diva Bomb. But I think the fight was over, so suiciding into it was probably not even a bad idea.
I don't think it was his plan, but
no,
that's
it wasn't.
True.
Is he like real deep in the back line there?
Let's see.
Back it up a little bit.
Just going right side.
No, he's going around the right side.
So that's him, right?
Yeah.
This is Linkser. This is Clockwork. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, he is very deep.
Yeah, he's rolling there. And now he has no choice. Like now he's on the opposite side of the map, and they're getting dove. So it's like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Suicide.
Yeah. He just dies.
Yeah. I mean, he should have jumped off, but okay.
Mm-hmm. I think they knew that immediately, right when they get dove. Like it's just a call, like okay, reset. Like something's just not working. Like some like positioning is just all kinds of off.
Mm-hmm.
The dive's just staggered. Like the positioning just really disjointed. I hate to use the word a ton, but it fits.
Boink.
It just feels like they're doing much better when Clockwork is going in with the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
At least on attack.
Mm-hmm.
If they stick together, it feels like it's working way better.
I was at Dyson.
He's doing more damage. He's like he's creating more space, just having more pressure, more impact.
The bad part is that like they're focusing on Envy and they can't seem to find the DMAC, and he always just has bomb. So when they actually get the DMAC, he just has another mech to pull out.
Yeah. Look at this. Wait. Okay, so Linkser is about to ultimate in a second. Okay, Kumat is dead. That's already an uphill battle. Okay, but now they get 2 picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Clockwork's here. He goes for Creve, right?
So he's on the left-hand side, yeah. Now he dips back behind.
I actually thought that I said Airblade, but I think if he goes in there, he's dead. So not going in there is probably a good idea. But then
he was booped away, so
yeah.
He actually got a kill and then was booped away.
Trying to poke in here. Where's Clockwork doing all of this? Okay, he's here.
He's behind. He's basically at all times behind Linkser.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't necessarily like it either. I feel like when you're 2 picks up like that, I feel like you could. I think, barring any other context that we're missing, I think you'd be able to clean that up.
I think there was a moment where you should have gone in as Clockwork because you got the Lucio ult, but you didn't commit.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
one committed.
Yeah, that's true.
I think at this point you just try to get the Zen.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Linkser goes into these 4 by himself, kills Karif, and will survive this. With literally 1. But Muma gets grilled. Clockwork is trying to get Fate.
Fate, yeah.
But Fate gets out. And they lose. Okay. Yeah, I think in that situation, because look at the time slot, right? You can't be afraid. You need to make plays. Unless you're very, very confident in your defense, that 71.2% is enough for you. You need to bust in.
Or unless they're super confident in their retake scenarios. So I guess the idea here is that they're just trying to defend the point, and if they try to re-engage with like poor numbers, then Houston's confident in taking that fight when they try to re-engage with them. Which it didn't look very confident, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so defense. Clockwork again in his living room.
In his home.
Yep. Reef scared.
And where is my boy Clockwork?
There.
There
Just
he was.
Let's see again. Do guns.
He hasn't been doing much of anything either.
Yeah.
He's just been holding that side of the map. Now he starts jumping.
A little bit.
Little bit, yeah.
Here comes
Nothing.
Blink. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it.
He's
He's
basically
so far
around his
away.
backline again, right?
Yeah.
A little scared of Soon. The problem I see with this, right, is if you do play the utility tracer, you need to have insane game sense to know where the aggressive tracer will be happening, right? So, like, okay, so this is the timeline, and the aggressive tracer comes along and says, I'm going to attack now, here. And if you then need to first see that the fight is already happening, then you come in a couple of seconds later. And this discrepancy stacks up in fights, right? You will always like behind an ult advantage and whatever. Like, this is a problem. So what you want to be doing is be the cerebral player to know where this guy is engaging and then be there. But inherently playing defensively, because of this discrepancy, should be an uphill battle. More often than not. Let's say that. Thing is, he doesn't. So Banterlife says, so Clockwork tries to play like SBB, but Clockwork can't win the 1v1. I don't think he plays like SBB.
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah, like SBB is sort of aggressive and will just wizard something together sometimes, while Clockwork plays more like an Aska back in the day, where Aska knew where to be, right? So he would zone Stitch around the map, and even though at some point it wouldn't work anymore, he still wasted a lot of time for these attacks, right? Basically, Clockwork has the skill set of a ninjutsu tracer, but is playing genjutsu. If you were here for the... He has the Kai Genkai for ninjutsu, but is playing genjutsu, yeah.
Are you actually watching Boruto now?
I am fully done with it, with everything that's ad. I was sick the entire weekend, come on. I was definitely not going to watch anything.
No,
that
I was not condescending. It was just an actual question.
But it's honestly probably not something I would usually be overly entertained by, but it is a nostalgic thing because it very much feels like the beginnings of Naruto, and for that, it's actually very entertaining, I have to say.
I get.
So.
What?
Yeah, that was a pine swing. Jesus.
What? Like what?
Yeah. Okay, bye. But I mean, that was just cool, Matt, right? But still,
Yeah, sure. It was just a mech, but
I don't. That's one of those shots that you just fire, but you don't really mean to hit them. I guess.
No, he doesn't even. No. It happens before that, and the shot doesn't hit anything.
Oh, does he not?
Dude,
Wait, there's
that
a
No,
hit
was
it's just
indicator.
timed
Right?
really well. Watch Cool Matt's life.
Yeah, Comet's getting debanked though, and it looks like he's hitting some head that he doesn't hit.
Oh, wait,
Oh.
but
Yeah, he gets DMX'd like a good 3 seconds before. Watch Cool Matt.
yeah, sure, but is that how it works? Does it the
Yeah,
crosshair
Yeah, it's
like
staggered.
like
because
that.
look at the crosshair. It goes like this, right? Like it does.
Yeah, you get the hit marker once they're out of mech.
Yeah,
But-
you do.
Wait, have you ever okay? So this is a crosshair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your crosshair, and then it gets these, right? It's almost
Yeah, the
like
hit markers. Yeah.
like an anime thing where it's good like Baka, you hit me. Right.
It's one of those vein poppy,
Exactly.
yeah, emotes that. Yeah.
So Sundra crosshair.
Tsundere. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how it works, but okay.
That's what I said to Toby.
You called him an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he looked me in the eyes, and I totally melted away.
How did you get it out of your pants then?
Well, there was a woman there, so she helped.
With clean your bum? You're way too young for that, Barroi. That's stuff for 50 years down the road. Okay, so we're here again, and this is clockwork.
I believe so.
This
Yeah.
is Muma. Okay, this is the back line. Okay. Meant to be getting a 12th player. Good question. Yeah.
What's the question?
Isn't LA Valiant meant to be getting a 12th player?
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Who?
Do you want me to DM you?
Sure.
Yeah, I think you know though.
Do I?
I think so.
DM?
What did you ask? I didn't listen.
I sent it through Discord.
Yeah, that's fairly public knowledge, right?
I would assume so, but I don't.
Yeah,
think
it was
public.
on a subreddit, so
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I haven't heard anything.
yeah.
What about the new player?
Jen,
or something?
Yeah.
okay, so does anyone know about anyone getting? I'm pretty sure one of you knows because it was on the subreddit.
Who knows about what? Oh, people in chat. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
people in chat. Yeah. I guess if one of you points it out, we can talk about it.
If one of you points it out,
Oh,
I
there
will
we go.
link it.
There we go. Funny Astro.
It's rumored that Funny Astro will be signed to the LA Valiant. Rumors.
Rumors. Yeah.
Rumors.
I don't know.
I don't know nothing about nobody. These are some
I don't know
unsubstantiated
anything.
rumors.
I've heard nothing. I'm just going with Reddit here.
Yeah, this is just
Yeah,
Reddit's
no one
rumor
ever
mill.
tells me anything.
No, dude, I don't know nothing.
This is
But what about this hypothetical team that may or may not exist in the future?
maybe it will have some other place too. Who knows?
I think he's an upgrade over Verbo, but I don't know what Verbo does to short calling these days. But Astro looks like one of the better mechanical Lucius, at the least. And if you can track, then
Yeah, I guess he did.
I think it's just super hard to evaluate.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
difficult. What I'm trying to think what else he played. Obviously he's known for his Lucio, but like he never played Moira. He didn't play Zen, right?
Let's see.
I guess I don't remember. I remember.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's. Wouldn't picking up Cruz be a better choice than Astro?
Don't know. Hard to say. I haven't
So,
watched enough contenders to know.
This is one of those situations where, like, if you have watched esports for a long time, then the story Cruz has rarely ends well, I guess. That's what I'm saying. You know, without being offensive, but like often it's like people from the old guard trying to get back in, and that's actually an uphill battle. I feel like most of the time that doesn't work.
Yeah, historically.
So I don't know. Yeah, shot calling is definitely a good factor, but bringing in a new shot caller is always like a problematic.
Yeah, you have to take step backwards for that to actually work because you have to restart the foundation of the calling structure and center it around you, and then actually have success so the team actually trusts you, and then from there you can build on it. But you instantly have to take a step backwards when you pull the shot caller out.
Yeah,
I actually don't know how much shot calling Verbo's doing in this team though. That's the question.
Probably
I
not,
actually have no
not a
idea.
lot anymore, I would think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because
Which is sad because that's his intangible, right?
Mm.
Like that was the reason why a lot of people thought he was really good. And not to say that his Lucio was bad, but like it was like above average, it was pretty good. And then the intangible being that he was a good leader and he led Immortals.
Mm.
But now I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I actually have no idea. It's hard to tell. This is kind of a new team. Like we want to imagine this being Immortals, but this isn't. It's very different. And then even then, like you hypothetically bring Hastro in, and while he might be better mechanically, is he going to fit within the structure that they already have? It's kind of hard to tell.
Is Mendo dead?
Man, God bless Mendo.
Maybe he's in Houston signing autographs with anime girls.
Yeah, I would at least try to play him, dude. Like, I don't know.
Ooh.
But then
Mendo?
again, I don't know anything about the backstory with Mendo there. And I have to say, without being overly gossipy, I was not convinced how that went down with the Muma case. That this was actually just a misunderstanding. But I don't know. I don't care that much. Back in the day, I thought Mendo was one of the finest FPS talents that we've had in Europe for a while, because he definitely has talent. But at some point, it's like you start out from a position, and then you feed data in, and at this point, I'm over him. Like I don't need him to succeed in order for me to be happy, I guess. Isn't Agility's playing Fusion? What do you mean? Playing against Fusion? Wait. Am I misunderstanding this? Oh, today? So, okay. I think Agility's had a great performance the last time. And we saw in that documentary. Didn't you tell me about this show? Like that there was something like. What was the context again?
So I believe, if I'm remembering the video correctly, Noah called him to like a meeting at like Steak Shack or like Five Guys or something, and they were just like having like a chat. And he's like, we're gonna give you another shot on the main roster, but this is like your chance to kind of prove yourself and like show that you're kind of worth it. So like kind of like don't mess it up, because like this is, I can't promise you're going to get another chance in the future. So like this is your shot to kind of succeed. And you know, he's like, I want you to succeed, but like we can't like continuously give people chances over and over if we don't think it's going to work. And I guess the coach talked to him and kind of okayed it. So I guess the trial went well. Like if he's going to be playing today.
Yeah, the question, I thought he definitely hit all the marks there. And even though they lost, his performance was against Florida, right? What was it, right? Yeah.
I think
it was against Florida, and it just so happens that this was basically the resurrection of Logic, so wasn't it that way? Yeah, that was the game. And I'm like, okay, so they're basically like hyper anime shit, like fighting it out, who can carry it harder. And if you then just pin it on the result, I think in terms of what he did, he won his challenge. So I think he should be playing more. I mean, I will probably do content on this anyway at some point, but like the way Westerners and Koreans interact on teams is problematic in basically every team at the moment. And
yeah, because you're trying to mix two systems that are just like vastly different from each other.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think the vast majority of Western players would actually be against the things that Koreans want to implement. But I wish that Koreans were more forgiving in the easing of the Western players into the Korean system, which has sort of been found out as the superior system, I would say. Still pretty much dominating Overwatch League. If you
definitely
read between the lines and think what these teams care about, then I think Korea is still...
It's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to just rise talent. Are they going to dominate legitimately every position like in the Overwatch League out of like 28 teams? Probably not, just for like a myriad of reasons, but they're going to consistently churn out like a handful of like god tier players like about every year, I would say. Not teams of players, but yeah, like a good 5-6 to like maybe 12 players a year that could be signed to an Overwatch League team at any point because of that system. It's ruthless. You don't make any money. You're not really playing for much of anything other than just the chance to actually be good at something or prove that you're good at something.
Also, yes, I've heard the C9 stuff too, but the thing is, the younger the person is, the more or less I care about the history of him. Like, it's very easy because I do teach these age groups, and it's very easy or very much more possible, let's say, for someone to change his character during that age, where it's still formative, where the people that surround you. So if you're a slug, right? Like, if you get nothing done, the best thing you can do in your life is surround yourself with people that get shit done. That's empirically and scientifically the best thing you can do in order to change your attitudes around and give yourself a completely, almost like a re-roll, in like an RPG game where you get to, re-roll your talents. Your stats. Just by switching the group of friends. And that's why your parents also intuitively try to get you to get out of the shitty cycles, so in order to change yourself. And that feels problematic, and I don't know if it's always the best thing to do, because sometimes people shoot too high, but I don't know, like, that's why I think if you put an 18 or a 17-year-old into a highly professional organization with professionals around them that are also sort of have authority over him and also are older than him, to give him guidance and to bring him out to like more than just practice and whatever, I don't see why old stuff should necessarily be brought up as much as it is. But yeah, I guess it's a data point, so to completely discredit it is hard. Isn't the rule called Rule of 6? Surround yourself with the 6 closest friends, and your ambition and work ambition, etc. will be average of those 6. Yeah, sounds good. That's why.
That's about right. Yeah.
Like there's also the problem with like it actually in your formative years. I recently I doubt I can find it, but I think it also develops or changes actually your intellectual development. So you might gain IQ points, literal IQ points, by being around people and learning better thinking tools. So I don't know. And that's why, like, if you want the dual explanation, it's like you are as much your environment as you are yourself. And it's like if you want to make a conscious choice to change yourself, you change the environment. And that's also why I don't care what coaches tell me. If your team is misbehaving, then that is on the guy that is designing the system, and you can't absolve yourself completely of all these circumstances. While at the same time, yes, it's definitely also on the members within the team. But the highest weight is obviously on the guy that designs the system. Now, if you don't have authority over that, that's shitty, right? So, anyway, clockwork.
Anyway.
So if you're teaching kids and they are like super annoying, do you think to yourself that you're doing something wrong?
Depends on how long I've had them, but that's a super fair question, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go into this. So my job makes it so that the groups are ever changing, but yeah, I do think so, because I think in my groups people behave very differently, and I'm continuously shocked if I see the same kid in the other group in another day, right? So how different their character is. And sometimes I just think, okay, he's actually not as shy as I thought it was. And it's probably, like, I'm probably doing something that's stifling his development, not necessarily intellectually, because he still gets his stuff done, but as a person, in terms of character development, socially. And then I'll just do stuff like, okay, can you go on the whiteboard and just do some math and then explain to me? Don't disregard the others and just doing their stuff, right? And just talk to me a little bit. And that's historically, for instance, elementary school girls, you have to get out of their shell quite often, right? But yeah, the older they get, it gets more apparent what their character will be. But yeah, it's definitely. There's also a lot of planning that goes into building these groups. Because if you have elementary school children and you're a teacher, it's very easy as a male, I have to say. Because they have like a feeling of authority
already. Yeah.
Especially if you have a beard and you're heavily overweight.
You look like my dad.
This guy could just misstep and crush me without the slightest.
I will be very nice to teacher Yiska.
Yes, I am only alive by his benevolence.
Please don't eat me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's sort of easy that way, and I think some struggle a lot more. But I had to get there. I was very nervous when I started, and this nervousness. Because you're the group leader, right? And if you're nervous, then the kids get nervous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's. I mean, definitely, I do misrate some children sometimes, and then you need to sort of reassess what they are like, right? And it's always like looking into the other room and also listening into the other room is often very beneficial, just to know what you're missing out on, or what you're successfully suppressing, to be honest.
So let's bring this to Overwatch. Do you think that you should have like multiple coaches and have some like
good back call?
Like have some people lead the conversation at one day and then others on the other day, and have the people that are not leading the conversation not be in the room at the same time?
I think so.
To see,
yeah.
Like just to get different impressions.
Okay, so what I would be doing is, if I have a GM, I would probably not involve him with the team much. I would let him come in as the big boss and just delegate stuff. It's like, oh shit, dad's home. Mom,
Yeah, exactly.
I fucked up. But you got to talk to your dad. Mom, please. Right? Like something like that.
Straight to the principal's office.
Yeah. And then you're getting told, right? And that's why.
But your vice principals are your coaches.
Yeah. And another thing is you need to be incredible. So in all parts of life, people tell you be unpredictable or whatever, right? There's nothing more important in leadership roles than to be predictable. People need to, like, especially young adults in still formative years, try to, consistently assess the boundaries, right? And if you have very clear boundaries where you can say, okay, here it stops. Now you're overstepping. And if you consistently apply that to everyone, and you apply to your star player, and if your star player oversteps, then you also bench him. I don't care. He's not special. Like, maybe he gets to talk to me a little bit more. Maybe I judge his performance, his input into conversations more because he understands the game at a better pace. And I also want to keep him a little bit more happy. But in all terms of behavior, I think you can just right off the bat. And sure, some personalities you have to swallow it up. But I think you can hopefully guide everyone in a constructive position. And that's why, I mean, I was honestly, for the most part of like following esports, I was always like, who cares when someone's toxic, right? He's like a very good player. Just build the team around him, and then you can do that. You can definitely do that. But if he then doesn't succeed, oh my god, does he get the belt?
You have to nuke the whole system and rebuild it.
Yeah, and you best know that he is not getting any more say than anyone else then, right? If I give you the power and you don't deliver, well, you're done, man. Like, you're now a pleb. You're just like a pawn like everyone else, and I'm sending you into battle first, right? This is a creeping problem in all esports teams I've been part of, is that it's strange how the hierarchies develop, right? When you have very skilled players, it's sort of assumed that because they're skilled and there's so few of the skilled players that they are now like in a higher hierarchy position when they don't even have the leadership skills, right?
No.
And that's why, like, if you look at the best performing teams in their environment, for instance, think of, if you guys have followed CS, right? There is like Cloud9, the old Cloud9 with Sean Gares, with nothing, and then when they brought in what was the guy called that was like a football player, super worked out. No, sorry, rugby player.
Yes.
I know I think I know who you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Let me look.
The guy that got in trouble with Simple, right?
Freakazoid?
Freakazoid.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Freakazoid. He wasn't the best player on the team, right? But he, like, when he talked, everyone listened. And he would just then delegate the team in the sense that Sean told him what, like, it's like, guys, listen to Sean, what the hell is going on here? Accept the hierarchy, right? And he would put them in place again. And I don't know, but I think that is also what happened with Lunatic High. Eska wasn't the best player in Lunatic High, but because Koreans have a different hierarchy, it's not like your skill trumps then age, right? And whenever someone tries to do that, like a who are you, kid's benched instantly. It's like, okay, you were MVP of Season 2, right? Yeah. You want more rights now and want to talk over your hyuns? Yeah, pretty please. We're just going to win an entire Apex season without you. Sit the fuck down. Right? Like, it's like, this shit doesn't fly, and that's why, I consider this a fundamental benefit of the Korean system, is that people with actual leadership abilities will be put into these positions, and people that judge just better at the game will not be. And therefore, I think also in all other esports that works way better to give your star player more power because he can carry harder. That just doesn't work as well in Overwatch. You need a unit of star players that work together, at least 2.
That's what's strange about a lot of these Overwatch League teams, because it doesn't seem like they had any structure in place. Like, they didn't actually go one way or the other. They didn't go Korean or they didn't go Western. Some teams, it's obviously like New York, like London, even Houston to a degree. They actually feel like they're a team. They feel like they're built around a centralized idea, that kind of structure that you're mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Where a lot of these other teams, they just happen to be thrown together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how deep you wanted to get into that, but yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, before Overwatch League, like, teams just found themselves together, then were pressed through, like, a net, and the best came out, right? The ones that had just randomly developed the best systems. That's why Envy was so sick, because they had all the personalities, all fell into place. Internet Hawk wasn't the best player on that team, but he was shot calling, and he was definitely telling everyone what the way was for the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kai came in and was that personality too. And, like, that's just the way it goes, right? It's the way it has to go. You can't let go of that leadership role. You can't do it. Otherwise, it will just... Everyone will do everything. Like, the system just falls apart under anarchy.
Yep.
Thing is, you can have very mild personalities, where it's just naturally all falls into place. It's just very unlikely that this coincides with competitive personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, for instance, you may think of Flame whatever, right? But I'm sure none of his players would talk back to him in a bad way. I'm pretty sure that he has imposed enough leadership to that team that they might moan and whatever, but, like, it would probably with him, even though he's pretty close to them, but he has that personality type where he will just bark them into order again.
Oddly enough, like, I would agree with you if they didn't have that reality show where it feels like he's kind of like the good cop, where he's, like, befriending people, and Tyrong actually plays that.
Okay.
Where he's like, I'm really disappointed in you guys. Like, what was this? This was, like, not what we practiced. Like, kind of scolding them. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, I thought I was, like, exactly aligned with what you're saying right now, where I thought the roles were reversed. I thought Tyrong was let's say pizza on 3, 1, 2, 3, pizza. And I thought Flame was, like, the hard ass that comes in and, like, starts like busting people's ass. But I think it actually might be reversed. I'm not sure. Obviously, we can't know because we're not in the team all the time. We only get to see, and we can only talk about what we see. So, me personally, I think it's actually flopped. I think it's the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Boston is probably the best example for that.
Definitely. I mean, they're built around, like, I don't know, they were very transparent when they built that team and exactly how they built that team.
Mm-hmm.
No one would say anything against Huck, man.
Yeah. I mean, you understand where he's coming from, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Makes sense, yeah.
So, Clockwork.
I love these transitions. You didn't even try. And, okay, back to Clockwork.
I mean, like, what do you want me to do a transition like? And now to transition.
Back to this dirty Genji user.
You all know Clockwork Orange, and that's why we beat this into them. Like, no, this. Okay. Okay, so Clockwork was top left. Where is he? Boy, there. He's on the outskirts. They got Anko. Oof. Okay. This is even again? Yeah, okay. This is over.
So he's still playing laterally with Muma, though.
Yeah, sort of.
That's the one pattern that I've kind of picked up on so far, is that, yeah, there's times where he kind of mispositions and goes, like, elbow deep, but most of the time he's playing laterally with someone, and most of the times it's with his tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Like he very seldom actually like counter dives. He's more about catching the dive, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But I think that same style results in some of this dead air though, like where there's just points in the map where he just isn't really doing much of anything but just positioning.
Mm-hmm.
He's just posturing for something.
Yeah, but reading like flow of games better is probably a thing you would learn with experience, right? I don't know. Or is it
I would
just
say
something
so,
you
yeah.
can't learn? I don't know. Bus Envy. Just for Envy again. Nice. Thing is, he never really overly dies unnecessarily, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's the double-edged sword of being passive. It's like you're
Yeah.
not dying, but you're also not doing anything.
Yeah.
There's also times where you're not doing anything. I don't want to say the clockwork isn't doing anything all the time, but there are
Yeah.
times where just that's the nature of being passive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like he doesn't want to take 5
Unnecessary
seconds.
risk
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah,
something.
he doesn't want to get into 1v1s against the other tracer. He
Which is
rather tries
strange,
to find the enemy tank.
because if he's supposed to be like this god aimer, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Again, he's positioning like right with him.
Yeah. He was a namer boy. He said you later.
Please. It's bad enough with like the Naruto fucking analogies.
We got now going 90s pop. Watch me.
Please don't.
Okay. Let's reframe. Backstreet Boys and Sync.
Yeah. Britney Spears, Aguilera.
Damn.
You got the cream of the crop.
Let me tell you, I creamed in the 90s.
Stop. The rule book's out actually.
I screamed. What?
Rule
book?
Yeah, Richard Lewis published the code of conduct, I think.
Oh. Today we release the Overwatch.
Whoa.
You
Wow.
can download a copy. Oh my god. Are you kidding?
Let's go, Richard.
That's crazy. He actually has it all.
Just with our early report. I'm downloading this before they actually.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
doing that too.
Okay, somehow they lost.
Somehow they lost. I think the link's like either flooded or there it is.
Wait,
Okay.
okay, let's see.
I have it.
That's good.
As you promised, well intended to be reviewed by legal experts.
We were able
Even
to
gift
contain
cash.
multiple copies.
Video game
Why it
content.
has taken Blizzard so long to publish these rules? Well, they didn't publish them. You published
didn't,
them.
yeah.
So let's see. I'm just preparing the next one while we
Sure,
play this.
I'm reading the rule book.
So we had
In addition to releasing the unedited
Which games
document,
do we have?
we have shared copies with journalists who contacted us to request a copy.
how do I do this? No, this is
If you're
wrong.
looking forward to what work they produce,
Oh,
this is the
We're
result.
doing this. Okay, so
Is there a date on this rule book? I want to find a date.
Okay, so we watched this, and we watched LA Gladiators. So we have Houston, we have Philly, and Outlaw, and Shock. Jesus. Shock and...
Do we care about Owl today or no?
I mean, it's on in an hour, right? Who's playing?
Yeah, about 45 minutes. I'll look. Hold on.
Oh, Seoul against Florida?
Woo!
Seoul, Florida. That could be fucking spicy.
No way, please.
Dude, that could be. If they lost against Houston...
Don't disappoint.
No. They're...
Like...
I don't know.
Fuck.
Analysis of the rules.
I don't know if that's even like I don't think
that's
you
kosher.
should do that. Yeah.
I'll keep it. Keep reading it with the left eye, but I'll look at it. So for one thing that I already find very interesting is that they call streaming also having gift cards and streamables. So like little clips. That's interesting.
I mean, would that also fall under like Overwatch League gifts then?
Okay.
Is that
in the sense that they define it, it is probably pretty okay, because they're saying, okay, what we define as streaming, and you may think of that reframing of the word, whatever you may, but if a clip of that comes up, then these things apply. And I agree. Like if someone records you on stream or in someone else's stream and you're on ladder, and it can now be put into a Twitch clip and can negatively reflect, I mean, then it's being streamed, just not by you. So they should always think about the implications and consequences of their actions while streaming, including sharing any information about themselves, their team, or the league. The press and public gaming community are likely to scrutinize each player's
apparently
actions.
you are actually allowed to stream while Overwatch League is streaming.
Players may stream video game content of Overwatch using the individual monikers tags, both during and outside.
As long as it's not like a pickup game or something of that nature, I suppose. Philadelphia Fusion, actually. Go ahead, sorry.
Players may stream video game content from games that are not published by Blizzard Activision using the individual monikers tags, subject to restrictions below, both during and outside the league's season, provided that the stream may not be distributed via broadcast, cable, or satellite television. All streaming of non-Activision Blizzard games must be limited only to the internet. Okay, yeah, whatever. The player's moniker tag may not reference any Activision Blizzard characters, games, settings, or other similar references of international... So you can't call yourself Illidan Slayer? That's sad.
They are not allowed to stream PTR.
The game must
That's strange.
be rated by the Entertainment Software Rating Board, ESPI, and may not be rated AO. Okay, that's fine. I mean, yeah. Stream may not be distributed via any platform during the period of 1 hour before and after the Overwatch, any league event or affiliated league event. May not be distributed via any platform during the period of 1 hour before. Okay. Yeah, okay. Both the game and the player's streaming must be approved by player's team either on an individual basis or blanket contractual approval. Okay, that might be a restriction. The streaming may not be part of any other organized competitive play, such as any tournament or custom game. Yeah, so that wins thing wouldn't have worked with playing Quake, right? But, I mean, This is all... I don't think that's unreasonable. Anything I've just read.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. So far, so reasonable.
What are the limitations on streaming? In creating the video game content, players must use the most current commercially released version of the game with all then published patches and updates on the game.
No PTR.
Meaning no PTR, yes. No event may players utilize any cheats. Okay, that makes sense. Any stream must comply with all the laws regarding copyrights, trademarks, rights of publicity, and intellectual property. Players may not infringe on any copyrights. Okay, that also makes sense. All players are responsible for ensuring that they have all necessary rights to use any other intellectual property, including music. Okay, that makes sense. It's not nothing out of the ordinary for streamers anyway. Players may not directly or indirectly endorse the playing or purchasing of any non-active... Okay, that's hard. Players may not directly or indirectly endorse the playing or purchase of any non-Activision game in any manner, including making any calls to purchase or making any statements which constitutes endorsement, marketing, or advertising for non-Activision Blizzard games. What is indirectly endorsing?
Yeah, what is marketing and advertising? Is it playing the game?
Yeah, is it playing the game? I mean, so they're saying you can play the game. They obviously
and
put
then
that in.
they're saying you might not be allowed to play the game.
But can you then just not say it's good? Like,
you can't give like any rating on anything. I guess the word indirect is the big attack point here. Because, I mean, obviously, yeah, you don't want to be, like, endorsing a game. Like, I guess that's fine for Blizzard to kind of put a hamper on that. But what does indirect mean? I feel like that's very, like, purposefully vague.
Question in chat. So if you tell someone juicy information of the teams and they leak it, are you, as an OWL player, responsible? Yes. If you are the leak and the only leak, then you better be a formidable judge of the character if that will harm yourself or others considerably over public interest. And I would say the responsibility belies you, yes. But at the same time, the guy that leaks it and said, yes, I will definitely not leak it, is not innocent, and he's definitely also an asshole in some sense, but... I mean, that's just how the industry goes. And if we're being honest, like, if your mom tells you, please don't talk about your uncle's alcoholism, you're probably going to talk about it with your girlfriend, aren't you? Like, that's just a thing that should be assumed. I mean, this is very... The off-limits list. Now, this is...
That's the juice.
We're getting to the juice, boys.
The juice!
Non-Activision Blizzard games and related exploitations. Expect for the streaming itself of a non-Activision game. Following product and service categories comprise the off-limits list. Players are strictly prohibited from endorsing or having any other commercial association with any of these products and services on the off-limits list and may not include any advertising, promotion, endorsement, or other sponsorships.
You are not allowed to fucking voice your political opinion. What the fuck?
Yeah.
How is that not against the law?
Wait, pornography, sexual or adult-oriented products or services. Now it makes sense why Sideshow didn't respond to my Pornhub tweet. Come on, guys.
What?
Let's be honest.
As if you would ever do that.
Sometimes when dad and hand are in bed together, magical things happen. Monitor turns on.
See, political candidates are ballot initiatives, so you're not allowed to voice your political opinion. anywhere. It's not just streaming. It's like it doesn't limit itself to streaming. It's like Twitter. It's anywhere. You're not allowed to.
I was looking forward to Sinatra taking a knee.
I don't know if
during the anthem.
I don't know if that's like legal. Can you prohibit someone from voicing their political opinion? I don't think that's legal.
The problem, I don't know what the term political opinion even means. Like,
I mean, it says political candidates or ballot initiatives. But...
Is there anything religious in there? No. Political candidates, it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's different.
Is it though?
I mean, do you want to be able to say vote for Donald Trump on Overwatch League broadcast? I don't know. Doesn't seem right.
It doesn't say Overwatch League broadcast.
It says anywhere.
Streams,
You legitimately can't utter the word
to say
politics.
I would vote for Hillary Clinton. You're not allowed to say that.
Wouldn't it be worth moving players from their OWL
How is
rosters
that
not performing
against the law?
or playing to their contenders team? Yeah, definitely. I already talked about that one, Banter Life. Like, I think it should be allowed to move underperforming players
People up and down
and have them play, because the sanctity of teams in contenders are already anyway out of the window if you have transfer windows, right? That way you can just buy out complete structures from a team and just leave them without anything, right? For scraps during the season. So, like, that with that out of the way, and now you don't have to care as much about that. Yeah, why not? Why do you need to have like a consistent? It's just a showcase at this point. It's not really a real competition in any sense, or not a constant one anyway. So yeah, why would you not? I think it's fine. I think it's also fine to see if an Overwatch League player goes down into the ranks to see how he matches up against contenders players. Because I can tell you, if a mid-tier League 1 German Bundesliga player goes into the second league, he will probably dominate there. Yeah, I have to say I'm actually not even that interested in these rulebook stuff. Like, I know really. Carajol is currently just like.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's like having a field day.
Yeah, but like for my why I'm in esports, this is just like a nuisance to me. These rules should just enable the highest level of play possible at all times, and if they do that, they have my stamp of approval. For everything else, like, I'm a little crude in these regards. Like, I literally don't care what players do in their private lives, unless that somehow impacts in-game performance. I don't derive any enjoyment out of their characters necessarily. I do interact with some Overwatch League players who I enjoy as people, but it's not that I necessarily. I think that also allows me to have more real relationships with them, because I don't like have to cower in fear of their individual skill. Because that's like, back in the day I was like this, right? So I was doing journalism in WoW, and whenever I talked to a player, it would be like I would like kneel before the Emperor of Godskill and please bestow me upon your knowledge with this interview. And would be very scared of them, but in reality, it's nothing like that. And players actually don't enjoy that either. They often are very, very much looking forward to a real human interaction. And I don't know. It's just not to get off on a too crazy tangent here, but like, I don't enjoy all the surrounding stuff. I'm at my happiest when I can just watch high level games, and that's it. And sure, there's some gossip that I take part in, but that's just a human function. And ever since I read Sapiens, I have a newfound appreciation for gossip. Are you at that point, by the way, in the book, Barroi?
Yes, I read through that, yeah.
It's pretty interesting, right?
It's fucking interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Both contenders, whatever you are in. If you're by your academy team in any of these, you should be allowed to just move up and down. A team roster. Wait, what's this? Team compositions. A team's roster for any competition may only contain the players listed on a roster submitted by the team pursuant to the following regulations. Roster. Teams must have 6 starting players and may carry no more than 6 substitute players. A team will be considered ineligible if it doesn't not have 6 players on its starting roster at any start of any competition. Oh, okay. This is just, I mean, this... Yeah.
Check 6.3b.
6.1 illegal and detrimental conduct. Players, team managers, and owners are required to comply with all applicable laws at all times. Makes sense. A player, team manager, or owner may not engage in any activity or practice which brings him or her into public disrepute, scandal, or ridicule, or shocks and offends or a portion or group of the public, or derogates from his or her public image, or could reasonably be expected to be detrimental to the image or reputation of or result. I love these compound sentences. Jesus. This brings me back to law school, man. Or result in public criticism or reflect badly on the Blizzard Group, the league office, or any of their respective representatives, the league, the other teams, and their representative sponsors or members, the game, or any other product or service of the Blizzard Group. For the avoidance of doubt, team affiliation with individuals, entities, or brands that are detrimental to the image or reputation of the Blizzard Group, or any of their respective representatives, the league, the other teams, or their representative sponsors or members, the game, or any other product or service of the Blizzard Group as determined by the league office will be deemed as violation of this provision and these league rules. I mean, this, you can't, like, how do you even define reflecting?
Yeah, exactly. How do you define, like, any of that? Like, what is offend? Like, I am offended that XQC is on this team, so is he immediately removed? Like, obviously that's, like, a bit, like, blowing that out of proportion, but I don't exactly know what that means. Like, all of 6.3b, like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
It's, like, purposefully vague. Yeah, exactly.
And actually, at 5.16b, it says that the transfer window, because we talked about that earlier, ends 3 days before stage 4 begins. So
it's still open.
Yeah, it's still open.
I would love to know if and how team substitution works. Teams wishing to make a substitution notify the league-appointed team representative assigned to such team rep, no later than the end of the first round of a given map for the substitution to take effect for the next map. For example, the team must notify the team rep of a desired substitution for the second map by the end of the first round of the first map.
Of the first round already?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like that's just not enough time.
Yeah, definitely not.
Because, I mean, I feel like that works on, like, control really well. But, like, look at 2CP. Like, how would you even know?
Yeah.
You haven't even gotten to see your team play defense yet. Huh.
Wanted to do a little data visualization for the suspension and fines issued by the league publicly so far. All content comes directly from its items published on the Overwatch League website. This is interesting. Let's see this. Let's bring this up on stream. Orgi partaking in account boosting scheme. 0-day fine, 4-day ban. Silk thread account sharing. No suspension. $1,000 fine. Tyrone posting offensive meme on social media. Violating. Participating in counter boosting. Like, come on, dude. This is not the same. Or whatever. Let's actually look at. Oh no, that's not an article. Huh. I mean, the wording makes it seem like he got just 30 days for the same thing when it isn't. But whatever.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Whatevs. Okay. So we have 20 minutes left. Let's boost through one of these. Do we wanna...
Boost.
Wait.
Let's hit the boost.
Okay, wait. We want one happy one, right? Wait, Philly. Then we take the best one against Philly. We want one happy one for the ending. Okay. Once again, Volskaya. It's nice to see Volskaya 3 times again because it lets you compare all the.
And this was his overperformance?
This was his overperformance. I mean, yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's fair to say, I think. So, pretty good KD. Sick FK.
Yeah, sick FK.
Okay.
Does he just fraggy, though?
No, someone's busting Poco up. Carpe dead. Nice.
Again, very tight.
Uh-huh. On point. I mean, they're just channeling at this point.
Yeah. Even then, like, look at the kite back. He's instantly with the team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tight.
I can't even tell you another tracer in the Overwatch League that actually plays like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are just that carry focus tracer.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and maybe Jake. Jake's a little bit more aggressive though.
Yeah. Gets fraggy. Gets Poco. It's on point again with his tanks.
Holy. That holy, this is fast.
Yeah, they're shrekking him. That's a lucky shield catch. Yeah, okay. He's a happy boy again.
Happy clockwork.
Happy clocks. Okay. Maybe just force him to die in scrims. Just unbind his left click and just let him run into opponents. Just gets rid of his fear of dying. Just becomes immortal in his soul. By being immune to dying emotionally. Have him attain enlightenment and then play Overwatch. What the hell is that?
I remember this, yeah.
That's great. I love how I talk about enlightenment and
and then you're just like
transcendental into the 7th dimension.
Straight into infinity.
Team Poker gets stats boosted by links are popping off. Possible. But like you can't boost FK. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't think you're boosting much FK there. Unless it's Fraggy just jumping into them and just giving kills away. Which could be the case.
I think the Fraggy strategy is smart, though.
Who does Houston win this matchup?
Boom. No,
Houston, Philly?
Yeah, Yeah, they won that. No. Wait. Am I talking?
No, they lose, right? They get reverse swept.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, he got safe line with a bomb. See, that's so uncharacteristic for him. He can do it, but he rarely goes for the support stick. But he has a pretty high completion rate when he tries, so I don't know.
I don't think you can play conventionally against Philly. Because normally you just want a diva bust, or at least that's what they've shown that they've been very keen on doing. But I don't know if you can play like that against Philly. I think they have like a very distinct style.
Yeah.
I feel like there he was kind of aggressive with Buma.
Okay. Skip. Keep them railings alive. Okay.
Is Clockwork in his home? Where is he?
On point. With Malik. Okay. Wasn't this a match where Boombox was ill? Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. It's just taking advantage of Fraggy. Jesus.
Give me your lunch money, kid.
I don't know if that's real or not, but Richard Lewis just tweeted, "Just been shown that my website is blocked by the Blizzard Arena Wi-Fi."
Really?
I mean, I don't know if that's true or if he got sent some weird message, but like if that's true, it would be glorious.
Oof. Okay, Clockwork. Let's go. Oh, he's getting. I don't know. I mean, he was on that, yeah. Yeah, so he's always staying in that little cubby there, right?
Just, which was strange because on their first push, holy, their first push, second round, they kind of captured that whole side from him.
Yeah. So
That
now
was
the
a
back
little
line
bit
is
strange.
moving around, switching positions up, trying to
That'd be
make the
loopy.
dive distance as long as possible.
Mhm.
Now they switch again. Okay.
Good movement.
Boom. Yeah. You want to exhaust their movement abilities and then
Mhm.
have one over.
And then you can actually pick.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, and Lynx is popping again.
Poppin'.
Poppin'.
Where's Friggy? Oh, there he is. Clockwork actually survives.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, step into the god's house and you just get wrecked. Take your shoes off at the door. You like that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get shadow burned. The bird. Oof.
Kid's nuts, man.
Yeah.
It's not even fair. Thank God the meta's changing, because if this continued for like another month and a half, like Houston could stage like some serious comeback potential.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now they just need one more attack. Let's see what Clockwork does.
Yeah.
I think Clockwork can, like, that style can work, but he has to fill his downtime with more action
Mm-hmm.
while
So
reserving his blinks better. I think that's basically what it can
I
come down.
think he's not really the type of tracer that should go on flanks when he's attacking.
Yeah.
I think it works way better when he's with the team.
But I think, to Yes's point about the downtime, I think it's just taking better positioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to keep very mindful of your positioning at all times so that you're shaving off as much dead air as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And Clockwork, sends his eviction notice. Out my house, please.
Okay.
Sends the bouncers in.
Gets fraggy, but gets right clicked by Glayfly. That's fine. Should win that.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, easiest win. Basically, you could argue on the back of Clockwork getting card play, but I mean, yeah. I think if Houston wants to make that style work, they have to have him, like, give him a little bit more resources, maybe like an orb more reliably, and then just have him fill more downtime. And you can only figure out where the downtime happens if you know how your team plays and where these downtimes come up. Like, now I have a couple of seconds where I can keep poking or whatever. Like, maybe try to get a pick order. Yeah. You need to know the rotations the team is doing. You need to be incorporated in the shot calling or whatever. Yeah. And then, yeah. I think this is a nice point to end it, because Overwatch League is going to be on in 10 minutes.
Yep.
Let's do predictions.
Oy vey.
Okay, overwatchleague.com schedule. Seoul Dynasty against Florida Mayhem.
It's sad that I think it's actually going to be close. What maps do they play, actually? Let me look. Volskaya, Nepal, Hollywood, Root.
I think Seoul will clap. I think they are once again like they are off their sandbagging stuff because they need to. And 80-20. 80-20 and
Really?
80-20 Seoul, yeah.
Yeah, I would say something. I had 78 in mind.
I'm like
Something
pushing
like
it at 65.
that. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't think that's very. That's too
I don't
telling.
think it's that bad. I hope.
I don't think they win Volskaya. I'll be surprised. Nepal, they have a shot. Hollywood, they have a shot. And I don't know what they're going to do on Route 66. And then it goes to Lijiang. I'm sorry, Ilios.
Mm.
Mhm.
I have a feeling
Yeah,
Flutter will
I'm not
unleash
sure.
that tonight.
I hope so.
I would
But
hope so.
I don't know. He's been on a downward trend so far.
Hmm. Fusion
And then
Valiant.
Fusion
Jesus.
I'll say Fusion 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 70% or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And do we really need to see the last one?
Dude, you can't, I
Wait,
can't tell you
no,
how
the
scared I am.
podcast is ending. I think after Philly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a 2-match day. I forgot. Yeah.
Dude, please.
Can you imagine if London loses? Drops the
Please.
first map to
Oh,
Shanghai. their first game.
Please.
Give
Is Gregory
Shanghai their first win.
actually there? Can she play?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Oh,
She'll play in stage 3. They said that.
I'm so
Not
scared of
done.
this one because it could potentially ruin great playoffs. Oh my god.
Yeah, why you wanting Seoul to win? I thought you want LA to get in.
I don't want Seoul to win.
You
I
just think they will.
think they will, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I went 95 Spitfire. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. This is a little memey. And then actually this one, Dallas against Spitfire. Depending on what Dallas does. And who knows what Dallas
I
does.
didn't see the match against New York, but apparently the whole Seagull on
Yeah, it worked out.
on off tank worked out.
That and it just played around the DPS. Rascal and Effect just like popped off.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled out some weird stuff on control, but yeah. Overall, I liked it. It was overall pretty good.
Yeah. Also seemed like it could have won Hollywood, maybe.
I think that's a match I didn't watch.
So, yeah. Dallas might be scary for London if they send back. Isn't Seoul playing Guido and Zephyr? I mean, I don't know why you would at this point. Why are you sandbagging when you're already on the verge of not making playoffs? Like, give it your... It's not like you can do anything now with a better map differential. I guess they could gamble, like, that any of the other teams... Wait, who needs to slip up? Fusion, right?
Fusion and Gladiators.
And Gladiators.
Oh.
And Gladiators plays Boston.
I can see that. I can't really
Huh.
see Fusion.
Really? I think it's possible.
I can see Valiant taking it, but I don't think it's very likely. Like I think it's a 70-30. It feels like 65-70-30.
Yeah.
I honestly hope it's like just to see how it stacks up between Spitfire, because they are not going to be first, and LLA Gladiators. I want to see that semi-final of the playoffs. And I think Gladiators gets clapped 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't think. Like, I think they got a map in them, but I don't know. It looks rough.
Yeah. All right. Whoever's still left here. Are there still people in chat? Let's see. Viewer list. Band Alive. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Elednor Palanta. Elednor, yeah. And
You
Jin,
have won
41.
1,000 Yiska points.
Thanks for watching. Definitely don't. Like, it's not a charity.
You can exchange your Yiska points for cringy comments
About
on
Boruto.
Twitter.
What are you talking about? Oh, that never happens.
Only grade A Twitter comments.
See, that should be a revenge, Joe. Don't record him snowing. Record him saying something in this Discord.
No, that's just like invasion of privacy.
Okay, but
Me snoring is not substantiating. Like, I feel like that's a bit.
I guess.
I feel like that's pressing the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't show the recordings of you talking about sniffing flatter socks in your sleep, so
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think it's only fair,
Thanks for that.
right? Okay. How do I? Okay, the range is strange.
He just destroyed Sahar.
Oh, I can go back. Wait, but why can I not do white? What's this menu? Settings.
Activate Pro.
Pro.
You gotta activate Pro to color in white.
Damn. Anyway, aren't you German? I indeed am.
What a comment.
Wait, is something in reference to your name, which I'm not recognizing? Am I outing myself as a cretin? Wait, let's see. Let's see. Let's Google this real quick. No. Okay. Okay. Go watch Overwatch League. It's on now. Okay.
Yay.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hi.
Bye.